Right, well, we did another episode on Batwoman, aren't we? Now, it had a long break, Bitch Mams did. I had a long break, I think it was about 2 weeks, in fact. And what a way to stop. So it stopped on this weird cliffhanger of the repercussions of the Crisis on Infinite Earth. So one of the Beths, or Beth and Alice, whatever, was kind of disintegrating, right? And I thought to myself, right, how are they going to get out of this? What are they going to do? And, yeah, it was a whole lot of nothing this episode. But it wasn't actually, and, like, a true shame when I say this. Genuinely, I mean it. It was a true shame. It wasn't offensively terrible. There was one thing. There was a few things which made me laugh out loud. Humorous. But there was no weird hidden agenda. It's just a normal story. It just chugged along fine. I was super disappointed. I wanted to tear it a new one, but we will tear it apart. But I will say, actually, like I say, or like I have just said, and I'm saying said a lot. It wasn't offensively bad. What's going on? In a world. What is the world coming to when Bitch Mams is not offensively bad? Tragic. Absolutely tragic. Terrible effects. Terrible fight choreography. Like, terrible all round, as normal, obviously. But it wasn't offensively bad, with lots of weird agendas. But I think the only reason that there was no weird agendas was simply because they had to wrap up the loose ends. So, again, spoilers, because no one cares about this shit show. Beth and Alice are... We learned that they're going to be kind of disintegrated and one's going to die, cell degradation, because the Earth can't withstand more than one of them at the same time. Fine. Whatever. Like, of course that was going to be the case. And I said this at the end of my last review. I said, obviously, they're going to have to choose between one of them. It's bloody obvious. Like, of course it is. And obviously, it's not going to go the way that you expect. Of course it's not. Like, that's standard tropes. I would have liked them to have done... So, let's talk about subversion of expectations, right? Because obviously Beth dies at the end of this. Of course she does. Having had this massive long build-up of having to choose between one of them. Obviously, Ruby Rose's Bitch Mams, Kate Kane, terrible human, chooses the nice one. Whereas, you know, I guess, like, you know, it's your only way out. But yeah, so she chooses the nice one. And sits there weeping and crying that the other one's going to die. And then out of it all, Beth gets shot at the end anyway. So you're just like, oh, okay. And then the evil one wakes up and slams Bitch Mams in the face with, a medical tray. But let's talk about subversion of expectations, you know, in terms of storytelling for once. Like... You could have done all of that and have them both die. You could have done all of that and actually had the evil one die, right? The problem is that this show has been pushing itself with this one drive narrative of Alice and Kate, right? Now Alice has real solid motivation behind continually hating Kate Kane and Bitch Mams, okay? If you're talking about the show, bear in mind it's terrible, but within the show, Alice has motivation behind hating Kate Kane. And the motivation is Kate Kane did not save her, right? Obviously, she's a little girl, she's not going to save her. But then through abuse and trauma and, you know, horrendous situations, basically being in captivity, that the hatred manifests its, you know, the abuse and all that manifests itself in hatred and things like that towards Kate Kane. Now that is fundamental drive and motivation for those two to always be at odds. Now that's never going to change. They've gone right up to this point. I think this was episode 12. So they've gone right up to this point with that never changing. And the only way to progress that story is to remove it from the board. Right? In multiple ways. Like, you could do it so many ways. But realistically, if throughout all of these trials that have happened in these 12 episodes, she's not managed to convince Alice to to come away from being all evil. She's never going to. So, storyline and narrative perspective, what do you do with that character? Because now she's just always going to be there. It's like the Joker and Batman, right? The Joker's a great like an opposing character for Batman. But he's not in it all the time, is he? No. Because Batman will never remove him. If you're talking about chess, he's never going to remove him from the board, is he? Never, ever. Obviously, in a storyline, he does. But he's never going to remove him from the board. But that's why you never always have the Joker. But Batwoman always has their version of the Joker, Alice, looming in the background. So terrible story perspective there. And then they double down on that. For fuck's sake, they double down on it because now evil Alice knows that Kate Kane set her up to die. So they've doubled down on it. Like, she's never, ever, ever, ever going to be good now. Ever. So what do you do with this character? You can't do anything. There's no growth. There's no potential for anything. And that would be fine if it wasn't the main fucking character. The main evil person that Batwoman goes up against. But it's the main person. So where do you go? I mean, yes, the show's offensively bad in that regard from a story perspective. Where do you go from there? You tell me. Oh, so, defenders of the righteous bitch mams. Where do you go? You don't go anywhere. From a narrative perspective, 12 episodes in, she's not convinced Alice to be good. Now Alice knows that Kate would have killed her. Where do you go? You don't go anywhere. So there's a version of expectations. Because we're all expecting that to happen. Of course we were. So they expect, two people that watch this, me and someone else that hates it. We're expecting it to happen. So you should have just actually gone through with what you had set up. Not that she was going to, die at the end anyway. It's just pathetic. And then there were some hilarious things in this. Apparently, and I don't know America too well. I've lived there, I've worked there, for a few years, in fact. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, Galveston. Anyway, I don't know it all that well. Apparently, private security firms can kill people? What? What is that? She literally makes the order. A B-42.
I want her dealt with. For good. Which is why I'm ordering a B-42.
Sure you can do that, Mark.
It's acting commander. And yes, if you see Alice, do not hesitate. Shoot to kill.
Which, I'm pretty certain, B-42, is that not a shot? I'm pretty sure that's a shot. I need to Google that, but I'm pretty sure that is a shot of alcohol. A B-42. A B-42 bomber. Something like, I don't know. Anyway, basically, she makes this, the head of the Crows now, Bitch Man's ex-lover, makes this, because she's head of the Crows, makes this hilarious announcement. Yep, shoot on sight. Shoot to kill on sight to Alice. You're a private security firm. Since when do private security firms have license to kill? Is that a thing in the States? It's not a thing, is it? That's not a thing. That's not a thing. If it is, I question that massively. If that is a thing, but I don't think it is. So that was in there, and then the other offensively bad thing, which was just hilarious, like laugh out loud funny, was just at the end. Luke Fox is on the Bat bike, which is funny because they actually call it the Bat bike, and in one of the other episodes, I was like, oh, it was Bat Dyke on the Bat bike, which is funny. So they actually call it the Bat bike, the Bat Dyke's Bat bike. Say that 10 times really fast. That will screw you up. So they're on the Bat bike, but no Bat Dyke was there. Beth was there, and they shoot some rockets out, which definitely, because they literally explode, definitely would have killed the crows that were there, but they didn't. What the fuck was that? But it was not offensively bad. There was no massive agenda. It was just terrible storytelling. So look, I will give this show props when it's not horrendous, right? When it's not horrendous, I will give it some props. And it was not horrendous. Not from a gender perspective, anyway. But it definitely was horrendous from a storytelling perspective. And if you disagree with me, fundamentally you don't understand storytelling. You just don't. Because ultimately, what are you going to do with this character now that is always there? Because they don't remove her from the board. She's always there. There was some other bizarre elements in there. The guy who's got the fate, basically there's a guy that's an expert on plastic surgery that they want to testify that Mouse, this other character, was able to create like a Mission Impossible style surgical face and imitate someone. He turns out to actually be Mouse's dad. Oh, twist. No one cares. Fuck off. But he does say something funny about how, I don't believe that's ever possible. But then in that show, I'm pretty sure they make a reference to Mr. Freeze. So you got two complete opposites there. In this world, apparently Mr. Freeze exists, a guy that, walks around with nitrogen sort of outfit on and literally freezing himself. But then we disbelieve the fact that someone can make a face. Fuck off. That's terrible. Have some consistency. Anyway, it's still bad. Just wasn't offensively bad today. I'm a little bit late on this. To apologise. I was doing my film pitch video yesterday, which has done pretty alright. Like, I'm really, really thankful for all the support, actually. Been a lot of help and kind of pledges coming through, so I'm really, really happy about that. If you want to know more about it, I'll leave the video linked above and you can check it out if you want. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Give this video a like and a share. I've been Mr. H. Take care.